Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and ever-leading God, asking God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those who make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Thank you. All right, Kath.
Okay, so the clerk, council on their agenda has a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept and sign the 2024-2025 winter services agreement and exhibits on behalf of the city. It's something we do every year. I think it's the third year of our 10-year contract. And also I put the restaurant liquor license transfer on for 8 West Market Street. They will not be here till Thursday for the public hearing, but we'll need to consider it on Thursday after they're done, so that's there. And then we'll have the second reading of file council number 3, 2024, which is adopting the 2024 action plan, which encompasses the community development block grant program and home program budgets for program year 50. Anybody have any questions on those?
Nope.
Okay.
Seeing no questions, I'm Mayor.
Mayor, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. 3 resolutions for your consideration. First, appointing Baker Tilly to conduct the annual audit of the city's general purpose financial statements and single audit for the year ending December 31st, 2023 for a price of $72,000. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Authorizing the proper city officials to take any and all necessary actions related to the accepting the insurance package submitted by Risk Strategies, which includes but is not limited to property, inland marine, boiler, machinery, general liabilities, business auto, fidelity bond, crime, public officials, EPLI, law enforcement, firefighters, professional fiduciary liability, GL and professional health department, and cyber liability for a total amount of $949,693. Mr. Bill Joyce is here from Risk Strategies to answer any questions that you may have. Bill?
Sure. Bill.
Good evening, Bill. Good evening. Go ahead.
More or less than last year?
It's up about 5% from last year.
5%.
But what we were able to do this year is get the law enforcement has been our problem child for the last few years, but that deductible at one time was $200,000. We have it down for the same price last year, down to $100,000. Autos are about the same. We have about $175,000, 175 autos. The big thing this year is property and liability. We're seeing it. You see it at your own homes, your autos and things, and that's where we're seeing the increase. But pretty much 5% across the board on everything, which is pretty good renewal with everything that we've been seeing. You guys, the claims have been really pretty good this year. We had the fire at the park, and we're working through that right now, but nothing major. We have still have some major claims that are still out there, but most of our claims this year have been smaller claims. But the properties, the replacement cost has gone way up on the properties. So you're seeing like your addition here, there's probably about $1.5 million. It'd probably be closer to $3 million to replace now. So we're seeing about a 10% increase on the property for a total. I think we have $92 million as a blanket coverage for your properties.
Yeah, I've seen it. My place of work too. The Butler House is way up to insurance.
Yeah, the property, and especially on something like what you do, the replacement cost on the historical things are out of sight. Like we have the Kirby, that claim there is, I think it's gonna be close to $4 or $5 million for the water, because replacing it on historical buildings is really costly.
Right. Thank you.
Questions? No. I know people routinely look to reduce their premiums by maybe raising their deductibles, and I'm sure we're probably pretty far as high as we may want to go on that, Mayor, I would imagine, as far as...
On the claims made policies, what they're doing anymore is they're not raising the premium, but they're raising the deductibles, and that's where we have the claims in the professional policies. And we're getting them back down That's the key there, so that if you have a claim, you're not paying out the first 200,000. On the other things, our deductibles, that's the way that goes, but on the claims-made policies, the EPLI, cyber, things like that, we really work hard at getting the deductibles down.
Great, okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Every year we get to see you, and every year we have the same questions, and we always try to keep our premiums as low as possible, so we appreciate all that you do for us as well.
Well, I appreciate, working with the administration is really a pleasure. Like, they get us the information we need to get the claims done quickly, and they're great to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sure.
And finally, and this is a nice one to go over.
Yes.
Okay, authorizing the proper city officials enter into an agreement with the lowest responsible bidder, Hadley Construction Incorporated, in the amount of $219,574. The project, along with any and all other project documents related to the Hazel Street wall repairs project. The project will be funded through the Commonwealth Financing Authority's statewide local share account grant. We did receive a LSA grant to repair the walls, and we're going to be taking the most needy parts of the wall. You're going to see a major change there. George Albert did some engineering work on it, gave us some recommendations, so we're working with those recommendations, but it's actually going to be a major change. And this is something we've been trying to do for several years, at least the 5 years I'm in office, and probably well before that. So we have the funding, we have the money to do it, we have a contract that has a great history at the city, and we have an outline plan that we're going to be able to achieve here to make that wall much, much safer.
The wall was built in 1933, and I know my constituents, of course, on Bank Street and Hazel Street would be pleased, but not only that, everyone who comes from outside of the city and comes down 81 to Blackman Street down to Hazel will definitely have a better-looking wall to look at.
And much safer,
Thank you.
Councilman, too, because we've had some areas that we know are dissipating, but it'll be much safer and much more secure looking for the people, I should say.
Are you going to be using the same stone?
There'll
there?
be some changes to some of the, because as 1936,
33. That stone still exists.
but there are some areas that we're going to be actually doing some enhancing of
Okay.
safety parts of that wall. There'll be a rail put up.
Wonderful.
Okay, so it's being done with the idea of securing it, but making it a safer area for people who might pass by.
Okay.
Time frame, Mayor, on this, starting pretty soon, and
I couldn't do a thing until you guys give me approval. If you give me approval on Thursday, I'll make a phone call and we'll get it working, because, Bill, the nice thing is
We'll do
we
it
have the
over the
money
weekend.
available. But also, it's going to be, depending on when Hadley has the availability to do it, but it should be done shortly. They're working on other projects for us. They have a great history, okay? And so we're happy to say, once you approve this, we can get it moving.
great. Okay, anything else on the items on the agenda? No? Okay. Jessica,
Oh, I'm up already. Boy,
you are.
that was fast. I just have one thing. 845 North Pennsylvania Ave. That, I don't know if it was zoned a 5-unit, but it is now currently a 5-unit. Can we have someone reach out to them about needing a dumpster? There was like 15 garbage cans out there today. So, and I don't even know if they're supposed to be zoned a 5-unit, but they are currently. And that's all I have.
Great. Mr. Mirren?
Yeah, could you give me an update on the Casey Park project?
Sure. As a matter of fact, we discussed that today. I was down there yesterday. We did, matter of fact, Bill,
We're going to meet Thursday or Friday.
if you don't mind, I'll tell them what we're doing.
Yeah, while he's here.
Bill is the insurance carrier.
We're meeting Thursday and Friday with the adjusters and the mayor to come up with a plan, what's covered, what's not, what enhancements we want to do to it. And
Okay.
they're out of Scranton, so they're great to deal with. And whenever the mayor's available, we'll
Yeah,
have more answers for you next week.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I seen they start demolition already.
Yeah, the insurance company did demolish the press box that was damaged by the fire. Now we're going to evaluate what's inside the cinder block or the concrete block buildings.
Right.
But what I understand, it's all covered, the contents will be covered by our insurance carrier. There are some, pieces of equipment in there and so forth. We've already started working on the field. We're putting a warning track on the outside. We're trying to make it a show place. So when we're done, Councilman, it's going to be a show place.
That's great.
The young girls that are playing softball there. We're making some other choices. So once Bill and I and City Administrator McCormick take a tour of the buildings and what has to be done, and we'll start the process. But Mr. Joyce's cooperation has been unbelievable. I talked to him the day after it burned down, Friday night in the evening, and I pulled everybody out, getting it checked out, and Bill was really a help in putting that together. So
Yeah, thank you.
It's not just been 9 to 5, it's been in the evening time that we work together also. So
Yeah, thanks.
thank you.
And having the insurance company out of Scranton is going to make life much easier for us to get it done.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I know the parents, they put a lot of time into making that the field itself, because it was abandoned for some years, and it's going to look so much nicer. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Was it determined what caused that fire yet?
Yes, it has been. We are charging the individual.
Thank you.
We're still gathering information. One of the things is the amount of damage that incurred, and that determines the charges, the amount of time.
Was it firework related?
Yes,
Crazy.
yes. But
Aaron, anything else?
Oh, I'm done,
We'll
thank
give you
you.
an update, Mr. Mirren, as the things develop, okay? And
All right, I appreciate
reach
that.
out to all the council, giving you an email as to, after we take a tour.
Yeah, we should have some kind of an answer, Monday.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you. Mr. Brooks?
Yeah, I want to just express my concern about the impeding sale of Wilkes-Barre General Hospital to a nonprofit. And I understand you've reached out to the hospital, and I hope the hospital will be a good corporate neighbor, even though they are nonprofit, and step up to the plate and help us with our budget, because that is an enormous hit to the budget if that was not paid on the property taxes as a private entity. So I understand you have a meeting coming up, and I wish you well on all that. And
Well, Councilman, it's something that's been on my mind even at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? Because currently, Commonwealth Health pays over $744,000 a year in property taxes, but that's not all. They also have a large amount of earned income tax that we receive from the employees. It's one of the largest employers in the city of Wilkes-Barre, and earned income tax is going to be another hit for us. I was contacted by the current leadership of Commonwealth Health in Wilkes-Barre, and they did say that new ownership is coming in. They want to meet with the mayor to talk about what it means. But if they are a 501c3, there's still challenges to that, making sure that they are a 501c3, and there's a process that has to be followed.
Right.
And we're following every process we can. But yes, it could be a major hit if we don't come to some type of an agreement.
right. Well, thank you. Anything else, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman?
thank you. Mr. Thomas, anything this evening?
Nothing today.
Thank you, sir. I know you've been working on this too, and this is a recreational issue. The bog, the tennis courts, rehabilitating them, turning them into pickleball courts. A couple of people have asked me about that as well. I guess it's wildly popular now, and
Can I elaborate a little bit?
you certainly can, please.
Okay,
I'd like to hear your expertise on.
Okay, we have several things planned for the bog. One is doing a special needs park. That's where Challenger Baseball is, we all know that. And Challenger Baseball is for special needs children in wheelchairs and other, it might be Down syndrome, it might be cerebral palsy, whatever, it might be autism. So we promised to build our next special needs park there. We have raised over $300,000 in voluntary donations. Our committee just had a purse bingo on Sunday over at Genetti's. We're waiting to get the final numbers. Last year's purse bingo, they raised $24,000 in one day. So we had over 300 people there on Sunday, and we're waiting to find out what we get, from Sunday. We still have some other people who are volunteered to make donations to that. Once that is done, we're going to actually start building in about a month, laying out where we're going to dig, what we're going to put in there. We have the equipment that we're going to order. It was on display on Sunday at the Purse Bingo. So we're going to put roughly 12 new pieces of ADA compliant equipment in that park. It'll have the rubber bouncy flooring, which is very expensive. Just to let you know, the rubber flooring we put in over at Kirby Park was $300,000 just for the flooring. So we're going to do that. We're going to build that park. I'm committed to doing that, and we're going to do that. Most of the funds will be used from voluntary donations, and depending on how much we get in, we'll know what we can do. Also, there'll be some other help from the city, but that's just one part of it. Secondly, we're going to build 6 handball courts up there. So there'll be 6 handball courts, which is very popular also. We're going to build possibly 3 pickleball courts in where the tennis courts are. We're going to be doing over the entrance, and we'll be doing over the parking lots. More ADA compliant parking spots, a more controlled parking area, because right now some people tend to drive up, that's going to be stopped. There'll be gates installed, there'll be one road in, and other accesses to get out, but what we're going to try and do is control where people can go with their vehicle, okay, because with the special needs park now and the other things, it'll be much busier than it is. So it's going to be controlled, and I have to say our team here at the city, Mark Barry, Joyce Sikoski, and our engineering people, Mike Amato, they've done an amazing job in not just designing the special needs park, but the other things, the pickleball court, Bill, as you said, handball courts, and then also redoing the parking arrangements up there. They'll be more controlled and safer once we get that together. So it's going to be happening very soon. It will depend on weather, naturally.
Right, getting late in the year now, I guess, to take on a lot of that now. By the time you engineer it all out, as you're doing now, and get started with construction, the snow will be flying before we know it, I guess, but...
Well, you know, the nice thing is we just built 2 pickleball courts. We know how to do it now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, never built pickleball before. We know how to do it now. We know how it's supposed to be set up, and our DPW guys are the ones that are going to do it, and they're amazing. Our Teamsters are amazing.
They're great.
They did it last year, and they're going to do it this year. They're going to build the handball courts. They're going to build the pickleball courts. So it's going to be great, really well.
Good. Wonderful.
It's great we're using our own guys.
Yeah, works. The satisfaction I'm sure that they receive just standing back and looking at what they've been able to accomplish.
And Bill, that's your district, if I'm not
Yes, it
mistaken.
is.
You're going to be very proud of the finished product.
I already am. What you've done up there now is great, but there's so much room up there too. It's not like we're starving for room up there to put these courts in. That'll be great. Anything else, Council? Okay, we're good till Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It is not raining.
No.
No